Are you someone that's looking to develop an effective and powerful kick serve? Then this is the video for you. I'm going to break down the kick serve for you, so stay tuned to see what you need to learn in order to have an effective kick serve. Before we start with the kick serve exercises, I'm going to show you some warm-up exercises that you will need in preparation for your serve. We have resistance bands and we also have our tennis racket. First exercise that I like starting with is bringing with the band above our head and behind and in front, just nice and slow, just to get that shoulder active, nice and warmed. We're then also going to go for our left and right, just swaying. Good, and then we're just going to go down and up. Nice and easy. As you know, in tennis is all about exerting your force through your shots. When you're going into your serve, you're going forwards into the ball. Therefore, you need to work on the reverse, which will be the pulling action, strengthening up those shoulders, especially your rotator cuff. Commonly, there's a lot of injuries here. So let me show you a few warm-up exercises. I'm going to start with placing the band on the net, start with a few rows, and just squeezing, just like this. We're then going to go into some opens and closes. And you'll commonly see Rafa working on some low, fast movements. Same with the upwards and some switching. A lot of tennis players use these resistance bands when warming up, as you're able to activate your muscles, warm them up, make them more supple and prevent them from getting injured. Let me show you what I use with a racket. So now I have my racket. We're going to start off with the classic figure of 8 shadow swings. Focus on that full range of motion, warming up your serve here, nice and slow. As you can see, I want to be reaching up and carrying on the motion, following on the other side of my body. Another one of my favorite exercises is the mobility one. You're going to bring your racket in your dominant hand over your front shoulder, grab the racket at the bottom, and you're going to pull that racket back nice and slowly. And for the reverse, you're going to place your hand behind your back and bring your elbow out in front. As you can see on my right-hand side, because I'm left-handed, this side it's not so easy to move as far back. Therefore, I need to increase my range of mobility here. And again, stretching out in front. And especially when you warm up your serve, you also want to make sure you do a few lunges, getting the legs warmed up, a few squats, and various things for your groin as well. Tennis, especially. When you're serving in tennis, you're using your full range of motion in your body. So therefore, you need to make sure that you're nice and warmed up. Let's get on with the kick serve. So what is the kick serve? The kick serve is a topspin movement that you apply to the ball. Therefore, the ball will be able to kick up higher or jump away or into the body of your opponents. And how do we do this? So let me explain. There are 3 different types of serves: the flat, the slice, and the kick. The kick serve is, in my opinion, the most complex of the serves. Each of the serves needs pronation, but when hitting a kick serve, you're going from a low to high pathway on the ball. If you're right-handed, you're looking to go from 7 o'clock to 2 o'clock, and if you're left-handed, you're looking to go from 5 o'clock to 11 o'clock on the ball face. Notice how the ball is brushing on the strings, whereas on a flat serve, you're going square to the ball, and a slice serve, you're carving across the strings of the ball. You may have seen serves from Roger Federer, Dominic Thiem, and now the likes of Carlos Alcaraz when hitting an effective kick serve. What you'll notice about the kick serve is that when the ball is going over the net, it has a higher trajectory. And when the ball bounces and shoots up into the air, it has that extra spin on the ball, therefore the ball's able to jump higher. And some players are even able to put a little bit of side spin on the ball, therefore the ball starts to move away from your opponents. In order to learn the kick serve, we need to start with the foundations. This can be exercises such as ball toss in the air and catch. It could also be one ball throwing at the other ball to work on your timing, and other exercises where you toss the ball in the air and hit with your racket. When learning the kick serve, you need the foundations of the flat serve and slice serve, in my opinion. And having a slightly developed serve already will help you to take your steps forwards when learning on the kick serve. And if you already have the foundations of your regular serve, it's much easier when developing that kick serve. In my opinion, when learning the kick serve, this is one of the hardest serves. So let's take it nice and slow, and I'll walk you through the step-by-steps. First step is the foundation, being able to have the strength, mobility, and coordination to effectively hit your kick serve. A few things when developing this kick serve is to make sure that you work on the mobility. Like I spoke about when warming up, you want that racket to be able to drop down your back and therefore having a high elbow. You also want to make sure that you have the coordination. One of the exercises that I like doing is juggling. Therefore, you have to work on many moving parts at once. And as you know, with the tennis serve, you're using the legs, upper trunk, and then the racket arm. The second step will be the grip adjustment, making sure that you have the correct grip aligned to help you on your kick serve. Let me talk to you through the grip. So what you want to have is a continental grip, meaning that if you were to hold the racket out in front of you just like so and slide your hand from the V shape down to the base of the grip, this is how you'd hold the racket. You also want to make sure that your index finger is slightly higher. This is the trigger finger, and this helps you from squeezing the racket so tightly. So this is for righties. And then if you are a little bit more advanced, you can move the racket grip slightly further around. This will give you a bit more of an extreme open string face when hitting your serve. So when using this type of grip, this helps you with the flat, slice, and kick serve. So mastering this grip will be key. Give these few exercises a go. So bouncing with the edge of the racket down, turning open face with the strings. You can also practice bounce ups as well. And then you can practice some of your serves with hitting with the edge of your racket and with the strings. This way you're going to familiarize yourself and get comfortable with this grip. But personally, I would say that you should already be quite comfortable with this grip, especially if you want to learn the kick serve. The third step will be your footwork. Having the right positioning for your footwork for your kick serve will enable you to have the best right angle in order for you to hit the most effective kick serve. Commonly, people would keep their feet in line with each other. And if people are keeping their feet in line with each other on the kick serve, you slightly want to keep your chest facing up towards the sky. Therefore, you might be leaning and falling backwards and altering your serve. Personally, what I would do is I would try to stagger your feet, bring your back foot slightly behind your front foot. This way, you're able to push more from your back leg and feel that delivery before you drive up into that kick serve. Let me show you both. So this will be the first one where my feet are in line with each other. And again. And as you can see, with the body positioning of my feet, it doesn't allow me to arc back enough when delivering that kick serve. So stagger your feet a little bit wider. And as you can see, my back foot is behind my front foot now. Now I'm able to get a lot more support when pushing up on my back leg into my serve. Fourth is the ball toss, making sure the ball toss is aligned correctly at roughly a 12 o'clock position for hitting your kick serve. Having the serve too far to the left or right will not enable you to hit the most effective serve and therefore not be able to get the right application when spinning on the ball. What you'll notice is on a flat serve, my toss is going to be a little bit more straighter. So it's roughly around 12. Firstly, I'm going to take you through the flat serve and show you where my ball toss is aligned. Notice how it was roughly at 12 o'clock. Let's look at the slice serve now. As you can see, again, slightly at 12 o'clock. Let me show you the kick serve. And likewise, roughly at 12 o'clock as well. So you can see that most of these serves ideally want to be in that same position. Whereas, let's say when you're starting off, I want you to get that feeling when the ball toss is on top of your head. It's as though it's just going to drop behind your back. This way you're able to focus on the movement when brushing on the ball. And what I mean by talking about this is you want to start with your hand roughly choking up the racket grip. And you want to place the ball on the strings and you want to feel that low to high position. Like I spoke about before, you're wanting that ball to go from a low to high pathway. So you're going to go 1, 2, spin, just like that. From here, you're able to progress over time, starting with your racket in that half serve position with the racket head slightly closer to your head, little toss above 12 and brushing up on that ball. And you're wanting to imagine that the ball wants to have that nice rainbow shape of an arc when hitting over the net. Whereas on the flat and slice serve, the ball tends to go downwards a lot more. So I want you to see the racket and ball pathway. So let me show you the ball toss on the flat serve. Likewise on the slice serve. And finally the kick serve. So as you can see, roughly the ball toss is all within that 1 foot radius above my head at 12 o'clock. Let's break down the serve into those 3 phases that I talked about earlier. First one is brushing the ball across the racket strings, holding the racket and choking it up a little higher. So 1, 2, and flick. Second exercise will be starting in that half serve position, racket close to the head. We're going to toss the ball up and gently brushing the ball. And as you can see in this type of position, you want to really get so comfortable with that gliding across the ball. It is as though you're hitting a topspin on the ball, like your forehand, just like this. Notice how I'm going from that low position to high. And something that's very important for you guys to remember is that when you hit a kick serve, you don't want to hit the ball at the apex. So let me show you the difference between the first serve and second serve. Watch the different heights of the ball. This will be the first serve. Notice how my racket is fully extended with my arm nice and high, reaching to the ball. Let me show you the kick serve. And as you can see that the racket angle slightly changes. As you can see, my elbow will be slightly bent, and then my racket is also angled more so that I'm able to go from this lower position and brushing up and into the serve. Whereas on the flat serve, I'm looking to pronate as fast as I can with the edge of the racket and then to the strings, whereas the kick serve, I'm going to contact the ball through before pronating after. Fifth is the racket pathway and contact point, making sure the racket goes through a full range of motion, gliding your strings across the ball and making the correct adequate contact with the ball. So what I want you to imagine is the racket pathway is not going to be going forwards as much. So when hitting the kick serve, you actually want to brush up the ball and you want to go around to the side. Whereas on the flat serve, you want to go through and forwards towards the ball. On the kick serve, yes, you still want to make sure that you go through the ball, but in order for you to generate that kick on the ball, you need to go under and up. Let me show you from a side-on angle. So notice how the pathway of my racket will go forwards, but then it will come around to the side of my body. Whereas on the flat serve, I would go forwards more. With the racket pathway, the contact and where your body goes is very important, because on the flat serve, your momentum wants to go in and into the court, therefore providing more power. Just like if you're hitting a forehand and you're driving forwards into your shots, you can see that I'm transferring my weight down the court. Whereas on the kick serve, you want to make sure that you're driving from the big muscles. So in the legs, you're driving up and into your kick serve before finishing a shot. Pay attention to how and where I land on that kick serve. So how I'm doing it is I'm driving up into my serve, and then where I'm landing is actually quite close to the baseline. 6 is the drills to help you with your kick serve motion. I've got a range of different exercises, so I can't wait to show you them to help you on your kick serve journey. Guys, this is one of my favorite kick serve exercises. It's by Dennis Van der Mill, and this is where you finish with your racket behind your back. Let me talk you through it because it may seem a little bit strange, but notice how when I'm talking about the kick serve, you want that racket to go not so much going forwards and through, you want it to go around the side. This way, this will help you with the pronation. It'll also help you with the racket pathway of brushing and also keeping the racket on the same side of your chest for longer. So check it out. Again, finishing with the racket behind my back. This will take some time to get used to because the racket wants to keep going forwards when hitting that flat serve. But in order for you to generate that brush and kick on the ball, practice the Dennis Van der Mill exercise finishing behind your back. Again, we're going to practice the Dennis Van der Mill exercise, feet slightly staggered, continental grip, ball toss roughly around 12 o'clock, but to make it a little bit easier, you can toss it just behind your head. We're going to start with the half serve, finish behind your back. Now we're going to go into the full range of motion, feet staying still. And now we're going to go into the full service motion, but now we're driving up with our legs. Like I said before, this type of kick serve takes plenty of time. So what you want to focus on is that brushing of the ball and then finishing on the same side of your body. For the next exercise, we're going to be kneeling. So grab yourself something soft like a jumper. Just place it on the floor behind your back knee. What I want you to practice is keeping your chest sideways on for longer. And commonly what happens for the kick serve is players tend to open up their chest too early, therefore their strings open to the face of the ball. So this is why a kneeling exercise can be very beneficial for your kick serve. I want you to start in the half serve position. When you finish your kick serve, you'll notice that my hand finishes again on the chest side of my body. And as you can see, my chest is not budging. So likewise, if I were to stand up now and hit my regular kick serve. Notice how my chest will face towards the net post. That's roughly at a 45-degree angle. This is one of the most important tips to remember. We're now going to go into a hit and hold service exercise. Once you've hit the ball, you're going to freeze at the top, and you'll notice that I have a high elbow finish. It's just like if you're hitting a forehand. If I'm striking on my forehand and I finish low here with my elbow, as you can see, the racket pathway is quite small and minute. Whereas if my elbow finishes high, notice where my racket is finished up here. If you want some forehand tips, then make sure to comment down below. But let's get back on with the serve. So after I've hit my service motion for the kick serve, as you can see, my elbow is staying high. When my racket goes up, I'm making sure I'm brushing across the ball and upwards. When I'm going up, I want that kick serve to reach high into the sky, and then I want my elbow to finish high. You can see a lot of the pros, they have this type of elbow finish, especially when trying to get airtime on the ball. So let's practice that hit and hold. Just like so, elbow nice and high. And again, these tips are very, very important to remember. Chest staying sideways on for longer, the stance, the grip, and also making sure that you're keeping that nice strong finish. These are some of my favorites, so make sure you take notes. An exercise you guys may have seen on my Instagram or TikTok is when standing in the service box. Right here, I'm going to stand in the corner. As I'm lefty, I'm going to be starting on the deuce side. My goal is to bounce the ball in the service box, and the second bounce will bounce outside of the tram lines. And what I want that ball to do is I want it to go upward shape, bounce, and then really kick off that court. Let's try it out. I didn't really have that much of a kick or bounce off it. Let me try it again. That had a little bit more jump to it. So let's say I've practiced 20 to 30 serves from here. I'm getting used to that feel, the spin. I can see the ball jumping all the way to the side. Let me progress to the next step. So I'll take you all the way back now to the baseline. Let me pop you just here. So this is the new position now. You're going to be starting in the corner. This is kind of like a doubles position, but from here, what I want you to focus on now is the exact same motion. This is slightly more advanced because you're further back, so you need more power and weight behind your ball. But the things don't change. We still want to create that arc over the net. We still want the ball moving off the court. So let me give it a go. They had a nice bit of kick, but it wasn't quite wide enough of the court. So let me do it again. That was much better. So you can see that the pathway of the ball was a little better aligned, and I can see that the kick serve was fading off to the left because I'm a lefty. Let me take you to the last spot. So we're just going to come back to the regular position here on the baseline. So this is your final position, starting just as you would normally, staggered feet, chest sideways on for longer, full range of motion like Dennis Van der Mill, keeping that elbow nice and high. Just like that. Some of you guys may have seen people doing kick serves from behind a fence on the side. Currently here, I don't have enough space, but what I want you to think about is I have a fence in the way in front, and I need to hit above it. In order for me to hit that kick serve above it, if I'm hitting flat and down, therefore my ball will not be able to have that arc on it. And the kick serve, why it's so beneficial is because you have shape over the net. It's an extra safety margin. But also when the ball bounces, it shoots up, especially let's say to an opponent's backhand, which they may struggle with. So on the first one, I hit the serve downwards. On the second one, I'm trying to hit up, creating that shape. And as you can see, I'm creating that nice trajectory over the fence. Now let's try it with a full leg drive. Oh, nearly made it in, but as you can see, jumping, creating that shape over the net, standing behind a fence or next to one is quite a handy exercise. 7 will be your repetition, and this will be key. For the range of different exercises that I showed you, I want you to keep practicing your kick serve, making sure you can do them in different areas of the court, and also working on different heights and different applications of spin across the ball. This way, you're able to develop your kick serve most effectively. Practice setting up targets, practice number of repetitions. Let's say you're going to go for 10 flat serves, 10 slice, 10 kick on any given day, and ways in which you can make your kick serve practice training fun. So one way that I like doing it is by imagining I want to kick that ball really high over the net. Pretend the net is 3 meters high. Check it out. As you can see, I'm creating that big arc over the ball. Arc over the net, just like that. Rather than hitting my kick serve shallow, I want to be making it fun and enjoyable when I can really fizz that ball up into the air. Let's see how high I can hit it before it jumps into the court. Oh, nearly had it. Play around with the kick serve as well. Maybe you want to accelerate slow to fast or fast to slow. So let's go with a 20% speed. Nice and casual. Let's go up to about 40% speed. And now for fun, let's bring it up to 80%. We'll add a nice little bit of kick to that serve. And so what you're trying to do is you're trying to make it a little bit more challenging for yourself, changing the speed, changing how you hit the ball, maybe in terms of the direction. And that's the last thing that I'm going to come on to now. And eighth, finally, will be your placement, making sure that you can hit your serve wide, body or tee. You can also go for more extreme angles as you'll have the development of your kick serve. So I hope you guys are going to take this on board and improve your kick serve accordingly. And an exercise that I like doing when practicing my kick serve is sometimes just standing in the tram lines. Because when you're standing in the tram lines, you're able to emulate your serve hitting down the tee. As you can see, if I'm swaying too far to the left as a lefty, that's quite common. I'm more likely to pull my serve to that side. And this is also the highest part of the net, so you do want to aim a little bit higher. So as you can see, I'm working on my kick serve accuracy. Let's also go back to the main area of the court. And from here, I'm going to work on different court positions. So let's say if I'm standing a little bit wider, maybe for doubles, I might want to kick the kick serve into the body, so down the middle. Let's bring it back to a little bit closer. This could be a little bit of doubles or singles. I might want to go down the tee on this one. And then finally, I'm back to the regular singles position. Here I have options. I can go tee, body or wide. Let's just say for the sake of this one, I might just want to go wide. You'll notice that depending on where you're standing on the court, there might be slightly easier places to actually aim for when hitting your kick serve. Personally, what I would advise for a right-handed player, especially when on the ad side, that wide serve is very, very effective. Not only you're able to kick them wide, move them off the court, it can set up like a pattern, like a 1-2, a kick wide, followed up with open court, or even back behind, drop shot, come to the net, you name it. But here it's quite effective because you can bring your opponent wide on their double-handed backhand, especially for a righty to righty. So I'm back here on the due side as a lefty. Let me show you my wide serve. Pulling my opponent off the court. Let's also try a kick into the body. That way, I might be able to tighten up the opponent when causing them to come in on their backhand, and also down the tee, maybe into their forehand side. But as you can see, for my lefty kick serve, I'm able to kick the ball and also come into the body, opposite for a righty as well. Hope you guys enjoyed these types of exercises and my step-by-step guide in order to enhance your kick serve. If you like this type of video, then be sure to let me know in the comment section down below. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in future videos to come.